Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I see our visitors here. Sean already made the joke, but it was funny, so. All right, so where are we at? If I remember. Proverbs, yep. But as always, we'll recap Proverbs 8. And just like every other one in Proverbs, just like Proverbs 9 will do, it always starts out saying, listen to me. Listen up, ears up. I'm pretty sure that's how they determine differences of subjects when they were going through. Like every time it says, all right, listen up, you know it's about to talk about something different this time. Same but different. So doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. So this is saying, you're going to see wisdom. She's not hiding around. You're going to hear it. She's at the high places crying in. And she crieth at the gates, meaning as soon as you get there, you're going to see her. So you're going to know, in any choices that you're making, you won't have to look back on it and be like, oh, where was wisdom when I was looking for it? Because it's always right there for the taking. When you buy your first musical instrument, you know if you want to get good, you have to sit there and practice right at the front, right before you even buy it. You know if you put it in your closet and never look at it, you're not going to magically be playing Jimi Hendrix or anything anytime soon. Wisdom's right there at the beginning on everything you do. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. I'm not going to lie to you, is what wisdom is saying. I'm true about this. If there's one thing you can say about wisdom, it is truth. You can kind of call it the same exact thing. And it is only the truth that's not only right there at the existence, it's the truth that everybody up to that point and everything has made it true. Like they are facts. They are things that have happened. You don't learn that fire is hot by someone never touching fire before. Somebody figured that out for us so that we can pass that wisdom down along. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that findeth knowledge. So let's look at truth here for a second. What's true? Where can you find truth nowadays? YouTube? Is it pretty truthful? If it's on the internet, it's got to be true. Why would somebody put something not true on the internet? Right? Maybe not the internet or anything. What about TV? If it's on TV, that's where it's at. That's where you can get all your truth from. If it's on TV, it's facts. Facts spitting. They even check facts on the internet and TV, don't they? Yep. Fact checkers, that's become a new thing in the past couple of years. I mean, depending on who's paying them is going to be which fact they check, but, you know. So, but even churches, I'll say that. Even some churches you go to, do you get the truth there? Maybe, maybe not, depending on the church that you go to. Do they use a lot of Bible there? Or do they use nice feel-good sermons like, Jesus loves you no matter what you do and will always love you no matter what, and when you die, you'll be right up there with him, so do whatever. Go whatever path you want to, as long as you come here and give us the donations and stuff. We'll make it work for you. You see a lot of that. Yeah. Even in, I'm not talking about even just right now, the Catholic Church, notorious for that back in the day. Yep. Pay your way into heaven. I think they invented a couple things, even purgatory and things like that. You want to get your dad into heaven? Give us a lot of money and we'll pray him on in. That's not exactly how it works, and it's not exactly how truth works. Truth works like it or not. Like, I am not 7 foot tall, jacked, awesome UFC fighter that everybody loves and wants to listen to all the time. It's truth. That's a fact. Instead, I'm a little guy up here just trying to teach you guys the Bible. Little, small, But my part to play in this is to teach you, so I will do it, and I do it gladly. And I hope you guys listen and learn something from it. Because I try to speak as much of the truth as I can. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. So here is this chart biblical? No, but you can kind of look at it. I like this definition of wisdom and why it's different than knowledge, but also why it's more valuable than rubies. There's always a question asked, like, would you rather have $1 million or learn how to make $1 million? If you learn how to make $1 million, you can make as many of those as you want to, no matter how hard it is. So the knowledge and the wisdom of the things is better than the actual result itself. I would rather learn how to build an engine than to just learn how to get an engine. I know how to get an engine, you just go buy a car. But if you know how to build it, now you can fix it, now you can make modifications to it to make it better. You can keep going with that. And even make sure to mention that down here, it's not necessarily talking about a car engine, but I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. So even back then, don't think that they didn't have cool stuff and weren't smart about different things. They had automatic well systems. They had different kinds of engines. They just weren't the kind that was in cars running them right now. But you take the data. You take what you learn. Data would just be, let's say you read some scripture. The scripture will be the data that goes into your head. The information would be, you can take all of what you've read and kind of get a point with it. Like, oh, this is Jesus. This is Jesus' journey. This is what he did. The knowledge would be like, why did Jesus do that? What do you take necessarily from Jesus' path? We need to be more like him. He came and died for us. We owe him everything, and he did it and gave it to us for free. So he's obviously very loving, very peaceful. But he did not come to bring peace, but a sword. So you have to know that as well. And that would be more so the wisdom, the insight in that. He came to love, he came to save. But if you don't love back, you don't save back, you don't obey, that's the downside of all of this. But that's where the wisdom comes in. And if you know why he does it. So we talked about farming a little bit, and a lot of us are kind of familiar with it. Take farming. We have pigs, we have chickens, ducks, and all that stuff. So they're kind of, some of them are thankless. You know, you go in, we fed the pig yesterday, I rigged them up a system where they can get clean water, clean food. You know, I wired them down to the fence so they can't move it. One of the first things a pig did is he goes there and starts knocking all the water out after I filled it. But what did I do? I turned right back around and filled it right back up. That's kind of how Jesus looks at us. He gives us all these things and sets up all this way, and we just knock all of it out, pour it all out. But what does he do? Turns right back around and fills it up for us. So in a way, you can kind of look at farming with the animals, and we're the animals. God and Jesus is the farming. And I like the animals. I want to keep them alive. I'll do everything I can to keep them alive. So, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Pride and arrogancy and the evil way and the forward mouth do I hate. So, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You'll hear it a lot. But the fear of the Lord is also to hate evil. So it is said, it is not enough just to love God. You must also hate evil. It's not enough to just, you know, if you're wanting a country to love your home, your neighbors, your community, you also have to protect it from anybody who would want to come and destroy that. So you have to hate any enemies that you have with that as well. Don't like hate. I'm not talking about ball games or anything. Like, don't hate Kentucky when you're playing them in football. It's not what I'm talking about. I mean, like, literally, they want to come destroy and tear down everything you built. So where else does it talk about fear of the Lord? In Job, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, to further confirm in Proverbs. In Psalms, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 1, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So not only is it the beginning of wisdom, but you won't even understand the wisdom if you don't have the fear of the Lord to begin with and get the knowledge from it. And even in Acts, later on down in the New Testament, and walking in the fear of the Lord. So when they were there and all the churches got together, the churches rest throughout all Judea and Galilee and Samaria and were edified, and walking in the fear of the Lord and in the comfort of the Holy Ghost were multiplied. So they had a fear of the Lord, and so God, seeing they had fear of the Lord, and because they had wisdom and knowledge, because that's where it starts, they were able to multiply. They were able to go to these new cities where they had never heard Christ preached before, spread the message of the gospel, and then multiply. More people would understand it and join it. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. By me kings reign and princes decree justice. By me princes rule and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. Just because you are wise doesn't necessarily mean you are a Christian. But if you are a king, you're probably wise in some way. If you're a judge, you're wise in some way. Not saying you can't be corrupted at all, but oftentimes if you're not a smart king, you're not king very long. Someone will come along smarter than you and trick you, and they're very conniving and everything. If you ever study royal families, that's your life. Your life is to try to not get killed and to trick and kill other people to get their stuff. Pretty much all throughout history how it's been. I don't really know necessarily so much how it works now with that, but probably the same way. You know, we got tariffs and trade and all that. It's not so much a war and in your face and everything, but yeah, we've certainly been through our fair share of rulers. But you know, other countries have had the same rulers for most of their entire lives. Some old people, so. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the path of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. So there are benefits to being wise, to fearing God. That if you are wise, you'll know fire's hot, don't go there. All right, getting a little cold now. I need to get back to a little close to the fire to get warmed up. You'll kind of be directed on a path, not go too far one way, not go too far the other, and also in all things that you do. When you wake up, man, I woke up a little late. I worked hard yesterday. I don't really feel like going to church. I don't feel like God will really be that mad at me if I don't go because I'm kind of tired. That's not being afraid of God, you know. So I woke up, even though I was late, and I was like, oh crap. So I ran, got ready, came in. Wasn't not going to come to church, but very definitely late this morning. I was like, oh no, they're going to be waiting on me and everything. I had fear of you guys too, but I don't know. So when I was getting in, got ready, couldn't find my flash drive, it was one of those mornings. Then we got here. But I love them that love me. That's the one cool thing about wisdom. If you love wisdom, then you're going to be wise. You're going to get smart. You're going to actually find, seek and ye shall find, if you want to find it. And those that seek me early shall find me. I think I did a bad job of explaining this last week. But at the beginning of every decision you make, so with gardening, for example, using a lot of farm references today. But when we were farming, I went out, just bought every melon seed I could think of and all. I'm like, yeah, these melons would be cool. I want a little bit of everything. Completely forgot about cross-pollination, on how I won't be able to use any of my seeds again for the next year. And I was like, I didn't seek wisdom early enough. I sought it a little bit too late, or I forgot about it. So the same can be applied with if you're looking for a new job, if you're about to make any big decisions, if you're about to take out loans for houses and all that. You gotta seek wisdom and seek God early. In fact, the first thing you do before you even start trying to pull the strings or plan anything else together, that is when you should seek Him early and find Him. And that is what's going to lead you down to inherit the substance and fill their treasures. Planning. Godly planning, we'll say. Divine planning. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of His way, before His works of old. So wisdom has always been there. You know, you hear logos, which means logic, reason. 1 + 1 has equaled 2 before there was a universe. Just how it goes. There was an order that was set when God was doing all of this, even before He started His works of old. I was set up from the everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth, when there were no fountains abounding with water. At a certain time, God's like, water is not going to mix with earth. At a certain point, there's going to be a stop, a divide. If water and earth were the same thing, one was just blue and one was green or brown or whatever color dirt is, we wouldn't have anything to stand on. We'd just be falling through everything, or water would be hard and you could walk on it without Jesus' help. It just wouldn't make sense. It's kind of weird to even think about, because logic was here and there was order. There was a reason to things. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. Before mountains, before everything, there was wisdom. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree, that the waters should not pass his commandment. I think that's what I was kind of talking about before. I just remembered that. It was about to talk about it. Water, can't go to that. That the water should not pass his commandment, that he appointed the fountains of the earth. Then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. Isn't it cool? Like, say you got a Lego set, and then when you build the Legos, and then you put the last piece on, and everything's where it's supposed to be, and it works, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Or you put together model airplanes, or you have anything, you're cooking a meal, and you mix all the recipes just right, and taste it, and you're like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to taste like. That's what God was doing here. He's like, he's using logic and reason, sets it down, now it's working. He designed the seed, you put in the earth, put water on it, it draws the nutrients, it makes a plant. Still the craziest thing engineered ever. You look at seeds, it's like a computer program written in with design engineering, manufacturing engineering, bioengineering. It's all of them at once. How do you put a little seed, and depending on what seed it is, same water, same earth, relatively, and it can grow a plant that's going to give you all kinds of fruit. And then you can get more seeds out of those fruit and plant them in, like hundreds more from one seed. It's crazy. What if you designed a car that made you 10 cars? That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? But we don't know how to do that as humans. We can't make something that makes more of something. But, it's crazy. Except for children, which is the divine order that God made for us. It's all crazy. But rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. So we try. We try to get the wisdom right. We try to do different things. And every now and then we get it. And I think that when we do get it, God is really happy. He's like, you use the logic. You use the order and wisdom that I set forth from the beginning. Don't use it to make like weapons to kill a bunch of people or anything. But, God likes it when everything comes together. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. So if you wait on wisdom, if you wait on God, will he not come, Gary? You taught that Wednesday. I remember. And I quizzed the kids on it. If you wait on God, he will be there. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. Seek and ye shall find. You can wait on the Lord, but you better be praying him in. You can't just go out in the field and be like, all right, God, where are you at? Going to be in the field a while, maybe, depending on your situation. But you find the Lord, you'll find his favor. He'll be there with you. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. If you hate wisdom, you love death. It's pretty simple as that. So hating wisdom. Why would someone hate wisdom? What's a good example? Why would somebody not like wisdom? It will expose a lot of their sins. A lot of people don't care necessarily about death. They just don't want their portion. So I want all that land over there and their markets and their money. All you guys, go kill them for me. What? No. So they kind of love death, just not for them, because they can profit off of death. Somebody comes along and he's like, sweet, I make a lot of swords. I make so many swords now. You need swords to go kill them, right? Boom, now they're making money off of it. And smart people profit off of war. They love death. They don't like wisdom, because wisdom, you shouldn't be going over there and killing in the first place. That's one little example. I'll try to use a lot of medieval or biblical examples. I use guns and stuff. It's kind of different in the Bible, but the same in all the matter. That was it for Proverbs 8. Proverbs 9. This one's an interesting chapter. It's not very long, so let's check with that. Wisdom hath builded her house. She hath hewn out her 7 pillars. What are the 7 pillars? Don't worry, no one really knows. Yeah, I spent a pretty good amount of time trying to find that out. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it just means there's 7 pillars. I know the Bible does this a lot, and I do not necessarily like this example because people try to use it for everything. But the Bible has numbers, and usually 7 means like a completion number. God built the earth in 7 days and all that stuff. So, 6 and then rested on the 7th, but 7th were acknowledged. But pretty sure it's just hewing out her 7 pillars means that it's ready. She's getting things ready. And it goes on a little bit to say that. I don't think there's any super deep divine meaning of that. That doesn't mean people haven't tried. Well, you can find pillars for everything when you're looking up this subject. So, Proverbs, 1 pillar means purity, peaceable, gentle, easy to be entreated, full of mercy, impartial, and something in purple that's real dark.
Looks like the White House, the LGBT.
Yeah, kind of. Then the second one's like, no. The 7 pillars are humility, integrity, stewardship, discipline, courage, passion, and perseverance. Okay. And this person's like, well, it's creativity, love and sharing, understanding, exposing of the wicked, nurture and development, fear of the Lord, and yield not to temptation. Fear of the Lord should be first, right? That's the start. That's the first pillar. But, I mean, I'm telling you, the list goes on. You can just pick a pillar, pick a reason, and I guarantee there's a pillar for it when people start trying to go down this road. And that's why I looked up 7 pillars anywhere else in the Bible. It's the only time it mentions 7 pillars. It was right there. It talks about pillars a lot, but there's never just 7 of them. That's why I'm leaning towards, it's 7 pillars are there, pillars are ready. House isn't falling down anytime soon. We got enough pillars to go around. Let's keep moving. She hath killed her beast. She hath mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. She hath sent forth her maiden. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. Again, she's up there. You're not going to miss her. Wisdom's screaming out at you. Not only that, now she's enticing you. Like, look, you come in here, this is what you get. I've killed my animals so we can eat them. I've mingled my wine so it tastes good. Why would you not want to go in here? Come in here, it's free. Come and get wisdom. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, Come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding. Come into my house, you will like it. I have food ready, I've prepared a feast. Forsake the foolish. Don't be out here with all these people. Come in and live. And go in the way of understanding. And then we kind of shift gears a little bit. He that reproveth the scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Reprove a scorner. So what does that mean? What does it mean if you reprove a scorner? Well, first off, let's take a scorner. Let's say I'm up here. This is going to be a weird example, but let's say I'm up here like, you know what? Preachers and pastors of these mega churches don't need 7 jets. Everybody's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, they get all these millions of dollars. They got 5 houses. Yeah. And then let's say Chucky stands up and he's like, yeah, but he's got a good message and that means he's of God. We're all going to be like, no, it's not. Shut up, Chucky, and stuff like that. Because it's not the popular opinion with it. So if I'm up here scorning and Chucky tries to reprove me, you're going to get to yourself shame. Everybody's going to be like, boo, you don't know nothing. Get out of here. He that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. So let's say that there's a wicked man. Somebody up there making a lot of money off of something a lot of people enjoy that's not necessarily Christian. Somebody comes up and is like, you know you're hurting a lot of people's lives and you're ruining them. then everybody's going to be like, shut up, we like what he's doing, get out of here. And somebody might come up and punch you. That's what a blot means. It means resistance, a forceful resistance. Not necessarily blotted out of the name of life. I had to look all this up in the Hebrew, but he getteth himself a blot. And now nobody's going to listen to that person again because you went against something that they liked and that they cared about. And the Bible necessarily is not talking about here saying that you're doing something wrong. It's just saying your approach might as well be to no effect now. Because you tried to reprove a scorner, that didn't work. And you tried to rebuke a wicked man, and now all the people that are following this wicked man don't want to hear anything else you have to say because of how you did it. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. But however, if you go up to somebody and like, listen, what you're doing is wrong. And they're like, how so? And then you show them, they're like, oh dang, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. Now you've rebuked a wise man, and he will love thee. If Eric would have told me before I bought all them seeds, like, hey man, we're not going to be able to get these seeds next year, cross-pollination, I'd be like, oh, thank you, I forgot about that. But nope, he didn't tell me, so we bought all kinds of different seeds. So, but in reality, rebuking a wise man, if you are a wise person, if you are rebuked, your teachers get on you and all that stuff, most of the time it's just trying to help you. They're just really bad at it. And that's where we got to be a little different than the first. When somebody's coming out here like, you're doing something wrong, this is what you got to do to fix it. Like, okay, I will do that. You're right, it worked. And they'll be like, yeah, sorry I was a little hard on you. I care a lot about this subject. Like, it's fine, I'll fix it. Everything's good now. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. So give instruction to a wise man, you make him smarter. That's why he likes it. Wise men love learning things. I love learning things. I work as an engineer for a plant. All the engineers, we love learning new stuff. It's just part of the personality. If I know something they don't, they're like, oh, what? How'd you do that? If I see somebody do something I don't know how to do, I'm like, wait, how did that work? What are you doing? We just like to learn and learn a lot of different things. So we have a million different experiments going on. He will increase in learning. But the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Again, you hear that. And knowledge of the holy is understanding. So once you're wise and you sprinkle in the divine, the God on it, now you take righteousness to holiness. And that knowledge of that is understanding. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. If I know something, now I know or remembered the whole seed thing. Next year I'm not going to plant a whole bunch of different types of melons. I'm going to plant probably seedless melons. But with more wisdom, to get seedless melons to grow, you need one melon that has seeds, one row of plants, so the pollination goes through and makes the other ones. And it better be a good one, because that's what most of them are going to taste like, the seedless. But I know that. But what if I went out there and I'm like, you're a bunch of dummies. How do you not know that? You don't know nothing about seeds. I know everything about seeds. What do you know about seeds? Nothing. You haven't planted a melon garden in your life. Now you're definitely not going to. You're like, well, whatever. You don't get my help. Don't bring me any watermelons from that. So now I have all this knowledge about seeds. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it because of how I approached it and how I went out. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. If you're wise about something, you know it. Sean knows a lot about computers. Gary knows a lot about music. They're wise. They know this stuff. But if they were, I hope it's in bad word, jerks for a better thing, then they can know it all they want to. I don't care. They can know it by themselves. Now thou alone shalt bear it. Now we're back to where we were at the beginning. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city. So now we got two women on high places. To call passengers who go right on their ways. So they're going down the right path. And she's also there. Hey, come to my house. Got some cool stuff in here. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Somebody in here, I won't say who, said nothing tastes better than a stolen watermelon. I thought that was funny, but that's what it reminded me of when I read this. But stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Now she's not being wise, but she's persuading, she's coercing. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. 7 pillars, woman inviting, feast and mingled wine, or stolen waters and bread with the dead. It's a simple kind of choice this one leaves you. Going down the street, hear 2 people calling you. Which one are you going to? And that's how wisdom works. That's why you seek it early. One path's the correct path, the other one's not. And every time you come to a choice, you get to choose. And wisdom will always be there screaming just as much as the other one. Don't do it. You see the little angel and the devil on the shoulder? That's wisdom. That's wisdom talking to you. Wisdom's not going to make you choose one or the other. But knowing that there is a choice, good or bad, that's wisdom. That's where it's at. That is all. Proverbs 9.
Yay.
I like that one.